join me in welcoming back
Yeah!
Koala. We also have Head of Story and Production Designer Lillian Chen. Producer Jeanette Petit. And art director and editor Corinne Merrill. I would love to start off by asking a question about the origins of this, and then I will be very happy to throw it to you in the audience. So it started as a graphic novel, and it had music elements as well.
Yes.
Can you tell us how it all came to become what we just saw?
The graphic novel I wrote, it took a few years, but it came out in 2011. I started writing it after my grandmother, who enjoyed Charlie Chaplin films, had passed away, and I was a bit lost, and I was trying to just cope with all that and think through all that, but at the same time, I was expecting the arrival of my first daughter, so I was about to be a new father, and I was like, brain going back in time, brain going forward in time, and so that was kind of the seed of that project. Just trying to like get it out, you know. But it was a comforting process, and then when it was done, I decided to do a book launch show at the Biosphere in Montreal. So at that show, we played some of the music from the score. By that time, my daughter Mabel was already born, so I remember writing a lot of the piano stuff, like even with her in one arm like this, and me plucking out the chords. Everything was sort of a lullaby for her on that first soundtrack. And so we performed the music, and I enlisted my friend Lillian Chan, who I met at the Film Board at the time, to do some animations for that show, and Corinne Merrill to art direct the whole gallery portion of the show. And unbeknownst to me, Jeanette Petit, producer of Space Cadet the film, was in the crowd. Want to talk about that?
And I was amazed with that show. It was such a great, heartful show, and I saw what these three people could create, and I was hooked. And it became that film. It took us 14 years to bring this film to you today, but we are happy we did it.
I'm happy to go with questions if anyone has to ask them right away. There we go.
There's something so compelling about like the robot companion that you see a lot in Star Wars and the Fury 6. Is it something that, like, is there a specific reason you felt compelled to do a robot companion because you've done so many times before?
To do robots? My obsession with robots like predates all the movies about robots. I love drawing robots mainly because, well, you were telling me that, because you're such an animation ninja. You said that there's 70 muscles in the human face that you need to master to learn how to emote properly, and I was like, I don't have time for that. I got a music career. So I like robots because you know they're kind of just there. You don't have to deal with eyebrows and lips and stuff like that. You know, it's just you can emote through the head tilt maybe antenna. So yeah, I'm lazy.
Wasn't there also something to the sounds that robots make?
Oh, the sound. Oh yeah, on the top of R2D2 actually. R2D2 to me, and the sound design on R2D2 is the first emote through all those like squidgy synthetic, sine wave twisted noises, and never through those early Star Wars movies did I ever question what he was trying to say, even though there were no words. I think that really got in my head at a young age too. So similarly, when we were working on the sound design to this robot, Olivier Calvert put in all the servo and mechanical sounds, and those were really tight. That he was reading robotic, you know, still kind of inhuman. And so I did a pass like through the entire movie of just some turntable warble. So I'm just kind of scratching underneath. It's real stealth, but if you listen close, you can hear it. Again, just the turntable version of R2, I guess.
There's a question, I think. Where did you come up with the name?
The name of the film, Space Cadet. That's a good one. Where did that come from? I don't remember. Been around for a long time. Yeah. I think Space Cadet as a term for me growing up, you know, through the 80s. You said, "Oh, you're such a space cadet," you know, meaning you're kind of daydreaming and drifting off and stuff. And that, I think the robot, that character kind of has that energy about him. I know I have that energy about me. But also Space Cadet, the actual Celeste character is suspicious. And you have a better answer. Let's go with yours.
I don't have another answer, but I'd like to know, do you like it? Do you like the title?
John, we're gonna keep it.
There's a question right here.
Yeah, a movie like this that has human characters and human-like characters without dialogue, in what ways was that limiting, and in what ways was that like liberating?
Was it limiting or liberating? Which ways to not have any dialogue?
Oh, I find it very liberating. Again, I was raised on the steak diet of Chaplin and Buster Keaton films and even Mr. Bean and you know all these things. Does anyone else want to?
Actually, for me, when I see Koala shows, he also does a puppet theater show where it's live and you're just, for some reason when you see a puppet, it just gives you a space to almost put yourself into the characters. So when we were making this film, we were really thinking of the spirit of that too. There's like a quietness and a stillness with these characters that gives you room to really reflect, and I think it really allows you to like be in the moment with the characters. So.
Yeah, you kind of, it's a different kind of interaction for the viewer. What's he thinking? What's she thinking? So hopefully it's your dialogue, so if you didn't like dialogue, inner monologue. Yeah, I think even in the film, sometimes it was imperative to have that kind of delicateness in space for me, so people could reflect. And you know, I think at the end of that monument scene that makes me cry all the time today. How many times have I seen this film? You know, where she puts the origami robot on the monument. You know, I think there's time in space and there's space in the music even for people to just think about wherever it is in their life that maybe had an effect on them, comfort them through it. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay.
Yes.
Why did you want to make it in space?
Okay. The original graphic novel, they used a technique called scratchboard, and that is a Indian ink-coated card, and you would just scrape off the lines, so what would be revealed is like a white line underneath. You probably did something like that in school, and so I saw this medium, and I said I should set it in space. Because then I could just like scratch off a couple dots and then you feel like stars and we're done, you know what I mean? But joke was on me because the second I had to do an indoor scene, you just pretty much have to cross hatch and render almost the whole panel, which might take weeks. But yeah, I love space. I think space is a good metaphor for all of those things, time and connectivity, you know.
There?
What inspired you to do stop motion? Like, were there any films that served as a direct inspiration?
Oh, you?
Yeah, so that's really wonderful that you said that, because we were really going for this look. I come from stop motion, Lillian comes from 2D, so we wanted to take both of these styles and bring it into a CG world. So all of this was done in CG at a CG studio, but we wanted that look of things made from paper, miniatures that we make for the puppet shows that we do, to have that warmth, the soft feeling of those textures.
You actually fooled me, I thought it was stop motion.
I would have been 32 years. Just for pedigree's sake, Corinne was the art director on the Little Prince movie. The stop motion when we went into the picture world, she designed all those sets. So she loves that. You love that medium, right?
Yeah.
You
Yes, I love making stuff out of paper, and this was really fun because it was the first time we were working in that kind of medium. So it was fun to take the way we make things in real life and do it in this style. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
What feedback would you give? Not feedback. What would you give to people who want to make their own films like this, who come from like Canadian, and just like film. I really want to make a film of my own. This is very inspiring to me.
Yes.
Advice for young filmmakers?
What advice?
I would say you just need to follow your dream. It took us 14 years and we never stopped going through the road, and this is what we hope we give everybody. If you want to do a film, it's not easy, but it worth the it's worth the road. So please just follow your dream.
Yeah, go.
So, and just for Jeanette as a producer, we want to know, this is a fully Canadian produced. Oh, and gender parity for this film. So there were many women.
Yeah.
A lot of the leads of the departments were women. And 50% of the crew were women, animators all the way up to design. Onto that, I would say I've always wanted to make an animated film since I was a kid. But those budgets are crazy.
Right? Oh God.
And so I'm like, from indie music, I think I still wanted to try to iterate those stories somehow. And so maybe it turned out as a comic book. Maybe it turned out as some like album artwork or a music video, short little glimpses of it. But I think over time, I put those things out and then I started meeting, some people that I think we could team up with. And I think that that's important, no matter even if you have 5 to 8 jobs and you spend some of that time for yourself to put that one frame together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try it, it'll feed you, put it out there. You never know who's in the audience, like in my case. There was someone who literally changed all of our lives for the last 3 years, especially. Yes.
You did fantastic on the soundtrack and the story. Thank you so much for bringing this.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the audience?
What would you like to say to your grandma
Thank you for watching.
Cold. I'm already in such a fragile state. Thank you, really. And she told me every moment was a gift. She had a very distinct sense of humor that she would only reveal in these kind of quiet moments, little interactions. I think this film tries to celebrate that. When I think back on my childhood, if you ask any children or even adults what some of their favorite memories of with their grandparents or their parents are, it's usually it's not the day I graduated and whatever. It's usually this moment where, grandma told me she taught me how to draw a car or something. Some literally 20-second interaction that I hold with me forever. So I would say thank you.
questions from the audience?
No, that's it.
Everybody knows everything you want to know. So I want to thank you so much for bringing this really beautiful, bittersweet film, and thank you all for being here in
Yeah!
Thank you.